Good afternoon, Ghana. It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We're coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Adjoatin Krama Domina. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Passport Office Director reviews plans to formalize operations of Guru Boys to reduce incidents of extortion. Also coming up, Education Committee gives Ministry of Finance and Education up to next week to provide a way forward on settling arrears owed WAEC for the conduct of the 2024 BEC.
The chairman has instructed that they should meet us early next week. We will wait up to Monday. Today is Friday already, so Monday we will take up the matter again to see what steps they are taking.
Still in the bulletin, Medical Laboratory Professional Workers Union in crunch meeting over order from National Labour Commission to call off strike, and later tension brews in the Bole district in the Savannah region following alleged assault of 2 residents by military officers.
The police turned on him and brutalized him too. I think they used the boot of their, one of them used the boot of the gun and hit him. He's been hospitalized by responding to treatment.
We have details of these and more stories coming your way in the next 30 minutes. Remember, the bulletin is live around the globe on citinewsroom.com. Also on Facebook and on YouTube. We're on Citi 97.3 FM. Across the country, we are live on a number of affiliates. If you're in the Western region, this is our dream. 100.7 FM in Takwa Beach, 105.5 FM in Takrade. In the Bono region, this is Green and 95.9 FM in Sunyang. In the Ashanti region, you can find us on Adrimpa 99.9 FM in Nkawie. In the Volta region, tune into Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi. Freedom 88.1 FM in Sugakope. In the Northern region, this is Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In the Upper East region, tune into Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. And in the Northeast region, Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalarigu. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your company. Now, the Passport Office has revealed that there's been a decline in requests for passports following the price increase that began in April this year. Despite criticisms of the upward review, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration clarified in a statement that the decision to increase passport prices aligns with the 2023 fees regulations LI 2481 and is also aimed at resolving issues that often lead to shortages of passport booklets. Well, in an interview with Citi News, a director at the Passport Office headquarters, Paul Kujo, indicated that while the decline in passport applications is a concern, it will not be significant as long as his outfit fulfills its mandate.
Naturally, there will be a slowdown, naturally, because for a long time, for a long time we have not increased the passport price for so close to 7 years. I stand to be corrected, and we needed to bridge the gap. So we got to a point that if we had not increased the price, we couldn't even print passport no more. That is why the new fees were introduced. I think all the regions we have gone to, people really, it's a concern, but it's not too much a major concern. Only if the Passport Office is retooled and deliver on our mandate. That is what is of utmost important to the applicants, to Ghanaians. And that is what we are working towards.
Well, the Passport Office has also disclosed that it is consulting with stakeholders to consider formalizing the role of middlemen, popularly known as Guru Boys, in the passport application process. Now, despite efforts to address exploitation of applicants by these intermediaries, the issue persists. Now, to mitigate this, a director at the Passport Office's headquarters, Paul Kujo, speaking to Citi News in that interview, revealed that as part of an ongoing World Bank project, presidential advisors on public sector reforms are submitting proposals to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This proposal, he says, aims at learning from other countries that have successfully integrated intermediaries into their passport application processes.
The World Bank and the Senior Ministers Office, Presidential Advisors of Public Sector Reform, they are submitting a proposal for Ministry of Foreign Affairs to consider, comparing these countries, how they have money to integrate them, whether you license them annually, give them name tag or photo identity so that if they exploited an applicant, they can easily report them. They work and get a commission or work and pay tax. These are all some of the options. In Canada, they call them receiving agents. So, for instance, let's say in 1 week, let's say Christopher is a receiving agent. He has his registration, his licenses. In a week, he assisted 5 people. He submitted. There is a bank teller at the passport office. Then they pay the commission to him or her. Do you see it? So it's an avenue for even job creation, as somebody mentioned at the press briefing yesterday. So the concept note will come, the proposal will go to the ministry. We'll look at all these possibilities. I'm told DVLA have gone far in trying to streamline their middlemen. We shouldn't call them guru men, middlemen.
You heard the director at the Passport Office's headquarters, Paul Kujo. Meanwhile, the office is urging Ghanaians to collect their passports from its various offices. The authority is concerned about 86,000 printed passport booklets that are gathering dust in offices nationwide due to applicants failing to collect them. Citi News' Kate Wodinya Menyuko visited the Accra Passport Application Center and found this report.
Day in and day out, Ghanaians flock to the various passport offices across the country to obtain passports either for travel or other identification purposes. And in a bid to fast-track this process, some of these applicants even leverage middlemen, popularly known as Goro Boys, to get their passports. Now, in an interesting turn of events, some of these applicants have refused to come and collect their passports, which are ready, leaving about 86,000 of these printed booklets gathering dust in the various offices across the country. Now, we are currently at the Accra Passport Application Office to find out the situation here. We are currently in one of the archive rooms where you could see a number of passports here. Now, these are expired passports. So some Ghanaians went through the process of acquiring a passport. The passports were ready and they decided not to come for it, and they've been here for years to the extent that they are now expired. And as you can see in your shots, some of these passports are now gathering dust, which is a concern to the authorities. Now we are going to head over to the passport head office to meet Mr. Paul Kujo, who will be telling us more about why this is so.
The responsibility of the passport office ends at when the passport is printed. And now that we have decentralized the passport office and we have regional passport office, we will transport it from the headquarters to the regional passport office. So the regional passport office, as we call them, PACs, Passport Application Centers, where you go and take your biodata. That is where you go and collect your passport. So it is incumbent on the applicant, in the case of Ghana, to go and collect the passport after it's been printed. So we don't know why people would rush, go through all the process, capture your biodata, your fill the form, go to the passport office, and then it is ready, you will not come back and pick it.
Paul asserted that the authority has been alerting applicants on the process and can't fathom why the situation is occurring.
Every step of the way, the applicant, you get a text, a prompt, either a text message or an email telling you the stage where your application has reached. to the point that if it gets to what we call superior intervention or suspended, you will be alerted to come to the headquarters, not the regional office, to come because your application is suspended, provide better and further particulars or give some explanation. Then we interrogate you. If the security agencies are satisfied with your explanation and the additional document, then we pass it. So these days, each step of the way, the applicant is alerted.
He also noted that the use of middlemen for passport applications is making it difficult to track applicants.
But most of our compatriots use middlemen to apply for passport for them. The telephone numbers they even use there are conjured. They are not correct telephone numbers, or they've been used and dumped long ago. So when you call those numbers, it doesn't go through. Some give you addresses that are non-existent because they are created by middlemen. So even if you want to even give it to courier service to distribute, you will not get the rightful owners to.
Paul, however, disclosed that all applicants with expired passports will have to go through the renewal process to get a new one.
As soon as we see that you have an old biometric passport, but that you didn't indicate that it was renewal, and this old one that is expired or the one you want to renew is not captured or scanned onto the system, your application will fail. It's a requirement. So those who applied for passport 5, 6, 7 years ago that they have not come for it, don't think that expired passport is no more of value. It is still valuable.
Meanwhile, according to Paul, his outfit is embarking on a nationwide media sensitization campaign to raise awareness on the issue.
We are doing nationwide media engagement. We have done, we started with Cape Coast, Takrade, Kumasi, Sunyani, Koforidua, Ho. We are left with only Tamale, and then we crown it in Greater Accra. So during the media sensitization and education, this uncollected passport has been a major topic that we have been discussing.
You heard the director of the Passport Office, Paul Kujo, speaking to Kate Wodenya Amenyiko in that report. But away from that, the Education Committee of Parliament has given the Education and Finance Ministries up to next week to provide details on how government intends to settle some 95 million debt owed the West African Examination Council, WAEC. The two ministers failed to show up after they were summoned by the committee to provide a way forward in releasing monies to WAEC. The examination body has raised alarm over the impact of the non-payment of the arrears on the organization of this year's Basic Education Certificate Examination, the BC, which is scheduled for Monday, July 8. Now, the ranking member on the committee, Peter Nochukotoi, in an interview with Citi News, expressed worry over the development.
The Committee on Education summoned the Ministers for Education and Finance to appear before us yesterday, but they couldn't turn up. They said that the Minister for Finance was out of the jurisdiction as well as his deputies, so they couldn't come. The chairman has instructed that they should meet us early next week. We'll wait up to Monday. Today is Friday already, so and they will take up the matter again to see what steps they are taking to make sure that monies are released to WAEC to enable them to conduct the examination, because it is only 2 weeks from now. I feel very sad and shameful because if we cannot even organize or pay for the registration of a BC examination for our young ones, then what are we trying to do to them? It has been disorganized, and because if money is not released to WAEC, they will have to postpone the examination, which has never happened in the history of this country.
Meanwhile, Peter Nochukotoi warned that the committee will be compelled to trigger a standing order to demand the Speaker to rule on the matter.
Well, I don't want to sound optimistic about it because they are the people holding the purse, and if they are not standing up to the committee, let's hope that they will do something about it. But I am afraid the way things are going, I don't see any clear way forward for us to resolve this matter. Then we'll take the matter to the plenary and then call on Order 93 for an urgent statement, and then I think the Speaker will give a direction.
You heard Peter Nochukotoi, his ranking member on the Education Committee of Parliament. Now, still on education, the Home Municipal Directorate of the Ghana Education Service has made a proposal for the amendment of the current free senior high school program to enhance academic focus and promote scholarship. During a recent stakeholder engagement aimed at promoting educational outcomes in the municipality, the Directorate suggested transforming the free SHS policy into a scholarship-based program. The Directorate also proposes that the free senior high school policy should only be granted to students who achieve aggregate 6 to 25 in their basic education certificate examination. Here is a whole examinations officer for the whole municipality, Fridolin Demude.
Now, when it comes to the government factor, we have good policies. And some of the policies, the way they are implemented, there are some issues we need to look at to find a way forward. It's a good policy like the free SHS policy. Now, some of the students will openly tell you, I have a friend who scored aggregate 40, 45 and they are at school and she is better than them. So even when she learns or not, she'll still get school. So I was of the view that if it would be like a scholarship or there should be a benchmark to say that if you don't perform or score from aggregate 6 to 25, you will not enjoy the free SHS or the scholarship.
That was the examinations officer for the whole municipality, Fridolin Demude. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. When we return, tension brews in the Bole district in the Savannah region following alleged assault of 2 residents by military officers. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV. Telling your story, empowering change.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, 2 executives of the New Patriotic Party in the Northern region have been brutalized by persons believed to be military officers at an illegal mining site in Bole Bamboi. The injured persons include the NPP Vice Chairman Yakubu Mahama and the Secretary for the constituency, Suraju Mahama. According to Citi News' sources, these military officials have on several occasions visited the site, allegedly inciting violence by ransacking homes and burning machines and huts. Speaking to Citi News, a relative of the injured persons, Mahama Haruna, affirmed that the 2 victims are responding to treatment.
The NPP Secretary for Bole Bamboi constituency, Mahama Suraju, who is a brother to Mahama Yakubu, their one father, decided to video the incident for evidence. So the police turned on him and brutalized him too. I think they used the boot of their, one of them used the boot of the gun and hit him. So as I'm talking to you, he's been hospitalized, but as at the time I went there, he's responding to treatment. But almost everybody is putting the blame on the Savannah Regional Minister, Mr. Moazu Said Jibril. Everybody is saying allegedly that he's the one behind the soldiers moving into that Galamsey side. We have some Chinese there doing prospecting.
Mahama Haruna is a relative to the persons allegedly brutalized by the military. Well, the Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboi, Yusuf Sulemana, has accused the Lands and Natural Resources Minister of failing to engage in proper stakeholder consultation before allocating lands to large-scale miners for prospecting, resulting in a clash in the area. The MP has been speaking to journalists in Parliament.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has allocated the land or has apportioned the land to over 7 large-scale miners, asking them to go and prospect. And the problem is that there was no any proper stakeholder consultations. And so the youth are there, and then they will see heavy equipments coming to take over what they are doing. And that is where the class is coming from. Interestingly, it is only the the MPP executives who are given the juicy places to do their galamsey work. And that is what is reflecting. Today, as I speak to you, the vice chairman of the MPP in the Bole Bamboy constituency is hospitalized. The secretary is at the hospital because the military brutalized them last night. They brutalized them because we are told that some ministers have asked military to go and protect the Chinese who are there doing whatever they call it. They say it's prospecting, but I tell you, they're mining.
That was a member of parliament for Bole Bamboy, Yusuf Suleimana. Now, away from that, the NDC running mate, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has responded to criticisms from former majority leader Osei Mensah Bonsu, who questioned her candidacy based on her age. During an engagement with female media professionals in Accra, Professor Opoku-Agyeman said she was proud of her age, emphasizing that her experience and wisdom garnered over the years are invaluable assets to her role. She further challenged critics to bring forth any evidence of corruption or misconduct in her career.
Recently, was it the majority leader who said, oh, they brought an old person? Let everybody understand that I am very proud of every minute God has given me in this world. And if He gives me more, I'll be more grateful. But my life is in His hands. It's not in anybody's hands. Yes. I don't consider my age as an insult. I consider it as a blessing. So that is it. What else is there to say? Is that all they could say? Did they also say that I was corrupt? Why couldn't they say that? Or that I was insulting people? Or what? You see, a lot of these things you must see as unnecessary and unuseful distractions. That's all. I said, oh, is that all they can say? They should find other faults. How about their own selves? I never said I was an angel, but I don't think I've killed anybody's child. So I'm happy with myself. I'm proud of how far God has brought me. And I believe God will take everybody much farther.
Meanwhile, the NDC's 2024 Manifesto Committee has announced that it is finalizing the party's manifesto to be launched soon. Nanoye Bampoado is secretary to the party's Manifesto Committee.
Very soon, we are progressing very well. We have had a number of these engagements. Today, female journalists, we've had with miners, we've had with Guta, we've had with agricultural workers, we've had with cocoa farmers. In fact, as we speak now, another group of the Manifesto Committee is meeting with the Civil Servants Association, TUC, and all the proposals we're bringing together. So very soon.
How soon? If you say how?
Very soon. It's very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so rest assured, very soon.
Nanoye Bampoado is secretary of the National Democratic Congress Manifesto Committee. Away from that now, the government has cited budgetary constraints as a reason for its inability to fully settle allowances owed workers of the National Identification Authority, the NIA. The workers had previously embarked on a strike due to the government's delay in dispersing their institution-specific allowances. Now, despite the government's earlier proposal for payment during previous negotiations, the union rejected it, arguing that it did not serve the best interests of its members. Well, ahead of a meeting today with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Secretary of the Union, Kwabena Educhireme, in a City News interview stated that they will only accept a proposal that fully meets the demands of members.
The government side, representing fair wages and then management, among others, admitted to the fact that yes, we are entitled to the allowance we are claiming for. However, due to budgetary constraints, the government will not be able to pay as this year the allowances we are calling for. But they propose some percentages out of one of the proposals presented before them. And then the proposal from the government was not good, not fair, and reasonable to the extent that the union could not accept. So we'll meet them today at 5, and then if the offer that will be presented to us today, if it is good, fair, and reasonable, we will accept it. But if it is still below the belt, which will not inure to the benefit of our members, that offer will be rejected.
You heard the Union Secretary of the National Identification Authority, Staff Kwabena Edu Chireme. Meanwhile, the Medical Laboratory Professional Workers Union is currently in a meeting with its Executive Council to decide on an order by the National Labour Commission to call off their strike. We'll follow that story and bring you updates in subsequent bulletins. But away from that, an ambitious target of transforming the country into a digital hub of Africa has led to the rollout of several initiatives geared towards moving the country into global digital revolution. But while the government touts that its digitalization agenda has saved the country millions of cedis, some Ghanaians and experts believe more could be done, particularly as the country gears up for the upcoming general elections in December this year. There's more in the following report. Space is of increasing interest to major political stakeholders in Ghana. Like the opposition National Democratic Congress, the incumbent New Patriotic Party has emphasized the potential impact of digitalization on the economy. Since 2016, the Akufo-Addo-led government has rolled out a number of digital processes in the delivery of government services. Some of the notable ones include the 2018 Digital Address System, the digitalization of vehicle registration and driver's licenses, reforms in court administration, the rollout of the Ghana.gov platform, and the introduction of the National Identification Card, also known as the Ghana Card, among others. On its performance tracker, the government lists about 49 areas of improvement in digital services. They include the introduction of 14 new digital platforms, improvement of usage in 18 digital services, embarking on 7 new digitization initiatives, digitization of records in 7 areas, and increased revenue mobilization in 5 areas. One of the key and perhaps most touted innovations under this government is the introduction of the Ghana Card. Records from the National Identification Authority indicate that over 17 million Ghanaians as of October last year had Ghana Cards. But what has been the impact of this card on the lives of Ghanaians?
Importance of the Ghana Card. It identifies you as a Ghanaian. And like I said, if you want to withdraw maybe a huge amount of money, because of the fraud system, they will require for your Ghana Card to confirm that you are Ghanaian or not. So that is what I think about the importance of the Ghana Card.
The Ghana Card has helped in SIM registration, and when it comes to the health sector, you can just link your health insurance to the Ghana Card. And if in case you don't have your health insurance, you can just use your Ghana Card at the hospital.
Another key intervention by this government under its digitalization drive is the paperless port system, which was introduced to reduce clearance time and human contact at the port. For the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, this intervention has significantly eased port transactions while generating huge revenue for the economy.
In the previous systems, maybe a commodity that you would have taken like 2 or 3 days or 1 week before you can clear it. With this, if you are able, with the current paperless system, if you are able to input all the necessary documentations, give proper descriptions, within an hour, a day or two, within 2 to 3 hours, you will have received your BOE, ready to go and pay your duty, and then proceed with the rest of the process. So with that, I can tell you that it's speed up, and not only that, I've also seen the data where the ICOMS people took over, how the data has improved significantly. And if you care to know, that is where we said, okay, so while it has reduced the process timelines for clearance in the port, it has also increased government revenue. That is what I can say.
The government had announced the installation of electronic gates at the Kotoka International Airport. This aims to eliminate checks by immigration officers at the point of arrival, marking another digital innovation introduced by the government. How is the aviation industry responding to this new initiative? Sean Mendes is an aviation specialist.
Look, the physical hardware for the e-gates was actually installed at Terminal 3 in Accra when the terminal was first opened in 2018. So the gates have been there for 6 years, effectively collecting dust. And, certainly there's been a pandemic in the middle, which slowed down the implementation. But I think, this is...
You heard aviation expert Sean Mendes, and in that report assessing the impact of digitalization on the economy so far. But this is the end of today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka, Accra. For more stories, please log on to citinewsroom.com. My name is Ajua Tinkrama Domina. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.
City News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302-224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.